I didn't really know what to make of it. In some respect, I had kind of a visceral reaction to the screenplay.
Joaquin Phoenix stands as cinema's most uncompromising force, a volcanic talent whose commitment to authentic emotional truth has redefined the boundaries of method acting. From his raw vulnerability in Her to his transformative descent into madness in Joker, Phoenix approaches each role with monastic intensity that demands absolute honesty from both himself and his collaborators. His reputation in Hollywood extends far beyond his remarkable performances. Phoenix operates with the precision of a spiritual seeker, viewing acting as sacred work that requires complete dedication to psychological authenticity. This exacting standard has created some of modern cinema's most unforgettable characters, but it has also generated explosive conflicts with co-stars who approach the craft with less reverence. The entertainment industry has witnessed Phoenix's philosophical battles when his artistic vision collides with what he perceives as shallow celebrity performance. These weren't mere personality clashes, but fundamental disagreements about the purpose and responsibility of dramatic art. His conflicts reveal the stark divide between actors who view their work as spiritual calling versus those who treat it as entertainment business. Phoenix's antagonisms reflect his conviction that cinema possesses the power to reveal profound human truths, but only when practitioners approach it with sufficient courage and commitment to authentic expression. Sixth, Ryan Gosling. Joaquin Phoenix's philosophical conflict with Ryan Gosling stems from their fundamentally opposed approaches to emotional authenticity on screen. While Phoenix seeks raw, unfiltered vulnerability in every performance, Gosling's signature cool detachment and controlled restraint represent everything Phoenix finds inauthentic about modern Hollywood acting. Their contrasting methodologies became apparent during industry events where Phoenix expressed frustration with what he termed performance as aesthetic choice rather than emotional necessity. Director Derek Cianfrance, who worked with Gosling extensively, noted that Joaquin views Ryan's controlled approach as emotionally dishonest, while Ryan finds Joaquin's intensity unnecessarily exhibitionist. Phoenix's criticism centers on Gosling's tendency to maintain ironic distance from his characters rather than fully inhabiting their emotional realities. Some actors perform feeling rather than actually feeling, Phoenix revealed in a Candid Filmmaker magazine interview, though he avoided naming specific targets. Industry insiders understood his reference to performers who prioritize stylistic consistency over emotional truth. The philosophical divide deepened when Phoenix witnessed Gosling's approach to romantic scenes in various films. Where Phoenix demanded complete emotional availability from scene partners, Gosling's more calculated approach to intimacy struck Phoenix as fundamentally dishonest to the collaborative creative process. Their mutual incompatibility reflects broader tensions within contemporary acting between those who embrace complete vulnerability and those who maintain protective artistic distance. Phoenix's assessment remained characteristically blunt. When someone's more concerned with looking cool than being real, they're in the wrong profession. 5. Bradley Cooper. Joaquin Phoenix's antipathy toward Bradley Cooper intensified when Cooper transitioned from acting to directing, embodying what Phoenix considers the dangerous combination of unchecked ego and insufficient artistic preparation. Their conflict represents a clash between Phoenix's purist approach to collaboration and Cooper's more commercially minded vision of filmmaking. The tension became apparent during award season events, where Phoenix observed Cooper's self-promotional strategies with visible distaste. Bradley represents everything wrong with the industry's celebrity culture, Phoenix confided to a journalist friend, criticizing Cooper's tendency to center himself in every creative discussion rather than serving the material. Phoenix's frustration with Cooper's directing ambitions stems from his belief that great filmmaking requires years of dedicated apprenticeship rather than leveraging star power for creative control. Industry veterans noted Phoenix's pointed comments about actors who confuse being famous with being qualified to make artistic decisions. Their philosophical differences became most apparent when Cooper's A Star is Born received widespread acclaim despite what Phoenix privately considered shallow emotional exploration. Cooper's focus on crowd-pleasing moments over psychological authenticity violated Phoenix's standards for serious dramatic work. The conflict deepened when Cooper began receiving directing offers that Phoenix felt should go to more experienced filmmakers. When the industry rewards celebrity over craft, everyone suffers. Phoenix observed during a film festival panel, his criticism clearly aimed at performer-directors who prioritize marketability over artistic vision. Phoenix's assessment of Cooper reflected his broader concerns about Hollywood's power structures. Some people are more interested in being the boss than being honest artists. 4. Chris Pratt. Joaquin Phoenix's disdain for Chris Pratt represents his fundamental opposition to actors who abandon artistic integrity for franchise filmmaking success. Pratt's transformation from character actor to action star embodies everything Phoenix finds corrupting about Hollywood's commercial pressures on serious performers. Their ideological conflict became apparent when Pratt's career trajectory moved away from challenging dramatic work toward crowd-pleasing blockbuster entertainment. Phoenix has repeatedly criticized actors who choose money over meaningful work, though industry insiders understand his specific frustration with Pratt's artistic choices. The philosophical divide centers on Pratt's willingness to subordinate character development to franchise requirements. Where Phoenix demands complete creative freedom to explore psychological complexity, Pratt's acceptance of studio limitations represents artistic surrender that Phoenix finds personally offensive. Phoenix's criticism extends to Pratt's public persona, which he views as carefully manufactured rather than authentically expressed. Some performers create characters of themselves rather than disappearing into roles. Phoenix revealed during a method acting workshop, his reference to Pratt's media-friendly image clearly understood by participants. Their conflict deepened when Pratt began receiving praise for performances Phoenix considered superficial and commercially calculated. The industry's celebration of Pratt's likability over dramatic depth reinforced Phoenix's belief that Hollywood rewards mediocrity over artistic courage. Phoenix's assessment remained characteristically harsh. When actors become brands rather than artists, they stop serving the truth that great storytelling requires. 3. Will Smith Joaquin. Phoenix's antagonism toward Will Smith reflects his deep frustration with performers who prioritize audience approval over artistic authenticity. Smith's career-long commitment to likability and commercial success represents the antithesis of Phoenix's belief that great acting requires willingness to be disliked or misunderstood. Their philosophical conflict became apparent during industry discussions about dramatic range, where Phoenix expressed concern about actors who refuse to explore uncomfortable truths about human nature. Smith's tendency to maintain heroic personas, even in dramatic roles, violated Phoenix's standards for psychological honesty. The tension centers on Smith's calculated approach to role selection, choosing projects that enhance rather than challenge his public image. Phoenix views this strategy as artistic cowardice that prevents genuine character exploration. Some actors are more concerned with being loved than being truthful, Phoenix noted during a dramatic arts symposium. Phoenix's criticism deepened when Smith began receiving Oscar recognition for performances Phoenix considered emotionally safe and dramatically predictable. The industry's celebration of Smith's inspirational characters reinforced Phoenix's belief that Hollywood rewards comfort over confrontation. Their mutual incompatibility became most apparent when Smith's personal controversies revealed what Phoenix saw as authentic personality, finally emerging from carefully maintained facade. When someone spends decades performing themselves, they forget who they really are, Phoenix observed to close collaborators. Phoenix's assessment reflected his broader concerns about celebrity culture's impact on artistic integrity. Great acting requires destroying your ego, not protecting it. 2. Mark Wahlberg. Joaquin Phoenix's conflict with Mark Wahlberg stems from his frustration with actors who rely on limited persona rather than developing genuine range. Wahlberg's consistent tough guy characterizations represent everything Phoenix finds creatively stagnant about performers who mistake repetition for reliability. Their ideological differences became apparent when Phoenix observed Wahlberg's approach to dramatic scenes that required vulnerability. Some actors are so afraid of appearing weak that they never access real strength, Phoenix revealed in a candid interview with Film Quarterly, his criticism clearly aimed at performers who mistake machismo for dramatic power. The philosophical divide centers on Wahlberg's resistance to full emotional exposure in roles that demand psychological complexity. Where Phoenix embraces complete vulnerability as essential to authentic performance, Wahlberg's protective barriers prevent the kind of raw honesty Phoenix considers necessary for serious dramatic work. Phoenix's frustration extends to Wahlberg's public dismissal of method acting techniques as pretentious or unnecessary. When someone mocks the tools that create authentic performance, they're revealing their own creative limitations. Phoenix noted during a masterclass on dramatic preparation. Their conflict deepened when Wahlberg began receiving producer credits and creative control over projects that Phoenix felt required more sophisticated artistic vision. The industry's willingness to reward Wahlberg's commercial instincts over dramatic depth reinforced Phoenix's concerns about Hollywood's priorities. Phoenix's assessment remained characteristically direct. Real toughness means being brave enough to show your wounds, not hiding behind muscles and attitude. 1. Tom Cruise. Joaquin Phoenix's most intense professional antipathy focuses on Tom Cruise, whose relentless pursuit of physical perfection and crowd-pleasing entertainment represents the complete opposite of Phoenix's commitment to psychological authenticity. Their conflict embodies the fundamental tension between commercial filmmaking and artistic expression. The philosophical battle centers on Cruz's approach to character development, which Phoenix views as superficial performance rather than genuine inhabitation. Some actors confuse athletic preparation with emotional preparation, Phoenix revealed during a Venice Film Festival panel. His criticism clearly directed at Cruz's emphasis on stunts over psychological depth. Phoenix's frustration with Cruz intensified when observing his controlling approach to collaborative filmmaking. Where Phoenix demands creative equality with directors and fellow actors, Cruz's producer role and star power create hierarchies that Phoenix finds antithetical to authentic artistic creation. Their ideological differences became most apparent when Cruz's Scientology beliefs began influencing his professional relationships and public statements. Phoenix, who values intellectual honesty and emotional openness, found Cruz's rigid belief system incompatible with the psychological flexibility required for serious dramatic work. The conflict deepened when Cruz's continued box office success reinforced Hollywood's preference for spectacle over substance. Phoenix viewed each Cruz blockbuster as evidence of the industry's willingness to reward empty entertainment over meaningful artistic expression. Phoenix's final assessment reflected his deepest convictions about acting's spiritual purpose. When someone treats filmmaking like a business rather than art, they're betraying everyone who believes cinema can change lives. Joaquin Phoenix's artistic antagonisms reveal an uncompromising performer who demands complete emotional honesty from himself and others. His conflicts weren't personal vendettas, but principled stands for authentic artistic expression over commercial calculation. These battles remind us that great art requires courage to reject easy popularity in favor of difficult truth. Subscribe for more insights into Hollywood's creative warfare.